Okay, you're actually going to balance your hormones in 2025. I know you're tired of the cramping, the bloating, the low energy. That's why I created this four-part deep dive series that's going to help you reclaim your energy and get your hormones in check. Hi, girly. I'm Marilee. I'm a certified menstrual coach. And when it comes to your cycle, I'm here to help you get it together. It's now March, and to celebrate Women's History Month, we are going to be taking action all month long and learning how to make history within ourselves by mastering every single phase of our cycle. We're going to go into depth about every single phase of our cycle so that we can learn how to optimize each phase, take actionable steps to keep our hormones balanced, and just feel energized and in control all month long. In today's episode, we're starting with the follicular phase. The follicular phase is a great time to plan and strategize, and it's just an amazing phase because you're your best feel good productive self. But are you actually using this phase in the way that you should? We are going to break it all down, the science of what's happening in your body, different ways that you can move, different things that you can eat to help support you in this phase, so that way you are just well equipped to fully take advantage of everything that follicular has to offer. You're going to learn more about what the follicular phase is and why it matters, the hormonal shifts that are happening in your body, how to optimize your mood, metabolism, and your productivity, and different things that you can incorporate into your everyday lives, like different ways to move, different things to eat, etc. So let's jump in. Let's talk a bit about what's actually happening in your follicular phase. So, your follicular phase is right after you finish bleeding, essentially. Remember, I talked about before how I consider this phase to be late follicular, since technically follicular actually starts on the first day of your menstruation. I like to consider this late follicular, so we'll call it late follicular. Late follicular starts the day after you bleed. It can usually last between 7 to 10 days. Your overall follicular phase, including your menstruation as a whole, like that's a period of 2 weeks. So the first week is your period, and then the second week is late follicular. During this time, your estrogen starts to rise, which can then lead to a boost in your mood, a boost in your energy, and a boost in your focus. And then at this time, you also have this hormone called FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, that's pretty much preparing your ovaries for ovulation. At the same time that your estrogen is rising, you also have follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, that's kicking in and preparing your ovaries for ovulation. And then you also get a little bit of testosterone starting to build. It's really going to peak when we get to ovulation, but it's starting to brim here, and that's also going to boost your confidence and mood as well, along with your motivation. Essentially, this is the phase where you feel like that girl. Okay, now let's talk about how we're going to actually support our hormones in this late follicular phase. First and foremost, I am a food girly. I believe that food is medicine, and that is my usually my primary approach to helping people with their issues. And even when I was going through my own discovery journey of like how to heal my cycle, like it was primarily food based. So I really, really love using food to just optimize and heal and prevent, issues. I really stress like preventative over reactionary. Like that's the way we want to go. So the longer that you get into these habits of doing these things, you will start to see that um, it's more of like a preventative measure versus like trying to just soothe symptoms that you already have. And that takes time to get there, but trust me, you can get there. And you will, as long as you stick with me. So, in this phase, you want to focus on light, fresh foods. Your digestion is a lot stronger now, but you want to make sure that you're fueling up on things that are really, really good for you. So, you want to make sure that you're prioritizing protein and healthy fats. Like, I love avocados in this phase. Like, I think that when I'm in my follicular phase, I only eat like avocado toast for lunch. Essentially, like, I love avocado toast. I love smoked salmon toast. I actually do have a recipe on my TikTok for smoked salmon toast that's really, really good and amazing. Please go check it out. It's one of my favorite things to eat in follicular. And you also really want to eat a lot of fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, yogurt, anything fermented that has a lot of good probiotics in it to really help regulate your gut health and also help support estrogen as well. So, the way that I like to get my fermented foods in, I always have sauerkraut on hand. I love sauerkraut and I tend to break my fast with sauerkraut. It's really, really great. I use Greek yogurt instead of mayo. I don't even like mayo, so anywhere that I can use Greek yogurt, I will. I also use Greek yogurt as sour cream, and I also drink a lot of kombucha. Kombucha is amazing, especially in this phase of your cycle. You also want to load up on a lot of iron rich foods since we're just coming off of your period where you probably lost a lot of blood. As you typically do. So, you really want to be replenishing your iron levels here. So, you want to have things like lentils, spinach, grass fed beef. Like, I love spinach. Like I said, I love salads and avocado toast. I usually put spinach on my avocado toast in this phase. I'll make spinach salads. Those are really amazing. Or I'll try to throw spinach on anything really that I'm eating. And I do like beef, actually. I do like a lot of beef in this phase, but I don't eat as much in my follicular phase. Estrogen rising does have a bit of an appetite suppressing effect, and beef is a heavier thing for me. So I tend to save it for when I'm like actually on my period. That's when I really love a good steak. But I'll just have like shredded barbacoa here, something a bit lighter, but will still give me the iron that I'm looking for. And then it's really important that you want to like detox properly. You want to be supporting your liver so that way you can be properly excreting any excess estrogen that may be coming into play. So, the way that you can do that is by eating a lot of like cruciferous veggies. Different examples of cruciferous veggies are like broccoli, cauliflower, collard greens, arugula. These are veggies that can really help you metabolize excess estrogen, and that's really going to help you keep your estrogen levels in balance because estrogen's increasing. But remember, we kind of talked about last week how too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, and that's very, very true with estrogen. And that will also come back to play when we get to our episode about PMS. Stay tuned. But you want to be making sure you're eating cruciferous veggies to really help keep your estrogen levels in check. And then a really fun thing that you can also incorporate into your diet is seed cycling. Seed cycling is something that like if you do research on it, of course there will be things that's like there isn't enough evidence to fully support these claims, yada yada yada, fret fret fret. Sure, people just haven't done the research. Cool. If you ask people how they feel if they eat seeds and stuff like that, you'll usually find that it helps them a lot. For me personally, seed cycling did really help me balance my hormones. Seed cycling is basically when you're alternating between pumpkin and flax seeds and sunflower and sesame seeds, depending on what phase of your cycle you're in. So, in the beginning half of your cycle, you want to be eating pumpkin and flax seeds. And then in the second half, you're going to be eating sesame and sunflower. So, in your follicular phase, if you're looking to incorporate seed cycling, you're going to do a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds and a tablespoon of flax seeds. What that does is it really helps support your estrogen levels naturally. Also, one of the biggest problems in this phase is not getting enough zinc and magnesium to help properly build your follicles, both of which are found abundantly in flax and pumpkin seeds. Flax and pumpkin seeds are also very rich in fiber, vitamin B6, and omega 3 fatty acids. They're also anti inflammatory and help with your digestive health. Although, please keep in mind, some people can have sensitivities to flax, so make sure, again, you know your body and you talk to your doctor before you're trying something new. But just so you know that for me, it's really, really helped me balance my hormones. And I found it really easy to incorporate and just to kind of throw the seeds in whenever like salad or like taco bowl or something that I'm eating at the time. So I find that it's really, really easy to just kind of continue into what you're already eating throughout the day. Foods that you want to avoid, and this is going to be really repetitive throughout every single episode. I don't care. You want to avoid excess sugar. Emphasis on excess sugar, okay? I'm not saying that you can't have sugar. I am also a girl who loves a sweet, okay? I love sugar. I'm saying you can't have too much. And you know what I mean by that. Don't even act like you don't know what I'm saying. You know what I mean by saying excess sugar. You want to avoid excess sugar and you want to try to avoid processed foods as much as possible, along with too much caffeine. Like caffeine can stress out your adrenal glands, like if you have too much of it, and that can cause a lot of stress. It can cause you to not be properly excreting the excess hormones that you're making, all those kinds of things. So try not to overdo it on caffeine. Try not to overdo it on processed foods. Try not to overdo it with sugar. Now, here is a pro tip. If you're going to have some sugar or a drink, because naturally in this phase you'll probably be socializing a lot, what you can do to help curb your glucose spike is to have a little bit of vinegar before you eat or drink. What this does is it really helps curb that spike so that way it's not as drastic as it normally would have been. And it helps your body prepare for it more. And in terms of like excess sugar, like if you're gonna have a dessert, I'm not gonna tell you that you can't have a dessert. I love a dessert. If you're gonna have a dessert, it needs to be dessert. It needs to be after you've had your dinner, and you should be eating your dinner in the following order: eating your veggies first, then eating your protein and healthy fat, then your carbs, then dessert. Eating in that order will help your body properly break everything down and use everything efficiently and keep excess insulin from going rampant in your bloodstream. It'll really help everything be more level. And that's going to be your friend when you still want to have your health goals and keep your hormones in check and not give up the dessert. If you want to learn more about this concept, we're definitely going to talk about it in depth soon in another series, but feel free to check out the Glucose Goddess social media pages. I learned this concept from her book, The Glucose Revolution. It is a fantastic read and it is ultimately life changing. So please do yourself a favor, pick up that book. Okay, so how else are we going to support our hormones in this phase? We're going to move our bodies, but we're not going to overdo it. Workouts that are really great to include in this phase are things like strength training, since your body's going to recover a lot better and quicker in this phase. Cardio is really great here since estrogen is pumping you up with a lot of energy and you can push yourself a little bit more. Also, dance workouts or like group fitness classes are really fun here because you're a bit more social here. So it's a little bit more fun and desirable for you here. What you don't want to do in this phase is overtrain. Like, you don't want to feel all of that amazing energy and feel like, I'm Goku, Kame. Like, you don't want to go crazy like that, right? We still got to keep ourselves in line. Too much intense exercise without recovery is going to throw off all of the amazing work that you had done trying to fortify and like balance everything. It's just going to go out the door. You have to make sure that you're building in the proper recovery periods and protocols and stretching and cool downs if all of this intense working out is going to mean something promising in the future. And I do just want to note people are really touchy about when it comes to like cycle syncing and different ways to work out and stuff like that. Ultimately, I'm going to tell you first and foremost to do what's best for you and your body. No one knows your body better than you do. If you feel like you want to go Super Saiyan all the time, have at it. Like if you don't want to be recovering, baby girl, that's on you. Do what you want to do. All right? Live how you want to live. I'm just really here to kind of tell you what's worked for me and what I find works for other people that I work with. So, for me, personally, I still need to recover. I can push myself a bit more in this phase, and that's great. But if I'm not resting, if I'm not recovering, I'm no good. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so we know what we're eating, we know how we're moving. What are we going to be doing for work in this phase? How are we strategizing in this phase? Your late follicular phase is the best phase to hack your productivity and your mood. Let me tell you how. Because your estrogen is so high here, your creativity is through the roof. Brainstorming is amazing here. If you have a problem that you need to think of a solution, this is the best time to really kind of bring that to the forefront and try to find that solution for that issue. Also, mentally, you are in go mode. So, this is a perfect time for planning, organizing, strategizing, all those kinds of things. I like to kind of set up everything that I'm going to be doing for the month in this phase because I can just very clearly see all of the things that I want to execute. And as I'm doing all that planning and strategizing, I may get a little more creative and try new things. I might try new things in my business. I might try new things like different ways to solve a problem that I never thought of before or that I'm usually not comfortable with, but I want to try it out now because I'm a little bit more open to that. This is a really great time to just try to do new things. Your dopamine is up, which is going to give you like more motivation to do things that you normally wouldn't do. And again, you do have that little bit of testosterone in there, giving you a bit more of a daredevil attitude, giving you a little bit more risk taking activity. But that's going to really soar high in ovulation, and that's in the next phase. Now, here is a warning: be mindful of over committing. Just because you feel unstoppable, that doesn't mean that you should overbook yourself. But overall, this is a perfect time to set goals, plan, and make moves. What this can kind of look like for me too is a lot of calendar blocking, a lot of strategy meetings with myself of like, okay, looking back at my reflections from the previous phase of my cycle, we'll get to that later. This, and this didn't work for me. How can we optimize these things? How can we make these better? What am I not looking at? What am I missing? That's really going to help me take my business over the top or to the next level. Those are the kinds of questions and problems that I'm trying to solve in this phase. And it's really just me, my notebook, and a pen just scribbling, you know? And that's all going to be really, really important when we get to the next phase of our cycle, ovulation, where we're more focused on execution. We're starting to come to a close on this phase, and I have to leave you, of course, with a verse that I think really embodies the energy of the follicular phase well is Proverbs 31:17. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. So I really love this because your follicular phase is basically when your body, your mind, your spirit all feel renewed, and it's like it's time to get things done. Your arms are strong, you're re-energized from your rest, and you're just all about building, creating, and stepping into your strength. Honoring this phase by nourishing your body and planning wisely is a form of self discipline and self care, and will ultimately create beautiful wisdom beyond your years that you can then instill into other little girlies around you if that time comes, when that time comes. Your energy is a gift. Use it with intention. Your follicular phase is almost like a restart button. Use this time to nourish your body, move with intention, and set the tone for a balanced, feel good cycle. You're not meant to struggle with your cycle, you're meant to flow with it. And that all starts here. So, I want you to start tracking your cycle. Tell me what you're feeling in your follicular phase and how your energy shifts. If you want more information on how to track your cycle, go back to episode 2 of this podcast. It's called Stop Guessing Your Menstrual Cycle: How to Track It Like a Pro. Run, don't walk to that episode if you need to figure out, oh, how am I supposed to track my cycle? Go figure it out. Go watch that video because you need to be tracking your cycle. You're going to be tracking what's going on in your follicular phase so we can talk about it. I also want you to try at least one new habit that I mentioned here today. And I want you to let me know in the comments below or tag me on Instagram at Merrily and tell me how it's going for you, which one you're trying, and why you're excited to try it. Maybe you're trying a new food. Maybe you're adjusting your workout routine. Maybe you're calendar blocking. Let me know. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to start this series with you all. I can't wait to see how you all master your hormones. Be blessed. I'll see you in the next one.